You want to create cigar content, but you're not sure what kind of setup you need? I'll give you a little tip. It doesn't have to be worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. You're tuned in to Smokin' Revelry. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for tuning in once again. You are tuned into Smokin' Revelry. I'm your host, Kyle, and I'm back. I never really left, but I also wasn't really very active here on YouTube, putting videos up for a while, just because life's been kind of nutty. It's been hard to get into the studio because of that nuttiness. It also was really challenging to get in here on a regular basis because I mainly work nights now, and I also don't want to be neglecting my family and all that stuff when the kids weren't in school. Also another challenge to get in here because I don't want to just leave them to their own devices, as tempting as it is to do so. You know, just sit them in front of a TV all day, let them play video games and watch cartoons all the live long day, but I can't do that because I'm trying to be a good and not negligent parent. I know I could do a lot worse. I know there are plenty of parents who, just for the sake of being able to get some things done, they will allow their kids to consume as much screen time as they want, but I did not want to be that dad. And so yeah, here I am. Kids are back in school, and it is glorious to have the days that I have off with the time that I have to do this sort of thing. So I'm very grateful to be back in here, lighting up a stogie, sitting in front of this camera and just talking at you, because I mean, there's no dialogue here. It's just me talking. And if you're listening, I'm really grateful. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in. It is great to be back doing this. Now, full transparency, I actually shot a video on this same subject a few weeks ago, and I had planned to put it up, but I put it up before the 6-year anniversary of me doing cigar media. It had some outdated information in there and stuff like that, so I just decided to screw it. I'm gonna go ahead and reshoot this whole thing and try to simplify it more, because I was just jabbering on like a fucking monkey. You guys don't want that. You want the goods. You want the simplified, basic information. You want something that is easily digestible, and I'm going to try and do that here today. We'll find out if I can accomplish that. But to give you a little bit of a rundown, basically, I'm going to talk about today in this episode how you don't need a crazy big setup. Now, I know that sounds funny considering I'm sitting in a studio that I built with some help, obviously, and I have this really nice microphone. I have other equipment and stuff like that that I use to put out quality content. But here's the thing: when I started out, I didn't have any of this. Nothing. And even when I started doing YouTube videos, and it was me and Cigar Show Tim back in the beginning, in the old days, a few years back, you know, initially there wasn't the most elaborate or sophisticated setup. Over time, the setup did become more sophisticated, and when, you know, Cigar Show Tim and I went our separate ways, and he started doing his own thing, and I continued on with my cigar media, first being Dad Smoking Cigars, now in Smokin' Revelry. It took a while. It took a while for me to get to the setup that I currently have. And I had to be patient. I had to wait. I had to take my time, because honestly, the temptation was, or just the urge, the desire, was to go out and just buy a bunch of shit. Because you want to be able to have good quality audio. You want to have good quality video. You want to make sure that your stuff doesn't look like crap. You want to make sure that people, when they watch your stuff, they actually like looking at it, because, you know, sometimes depending on what's put out there, video's a little too grainy, sounds a little bad, maybe a little bit too choppy, loud, you know, and you got your earbuds in, and it's just not really fun to hear or listen to, and it kind of turns you off, makes you not want to consume that content. But honestly, the nice thing is, nowadays, you don't need an elaborate or even that sophisticated of a setup, because with the advancements in technology, specifically phones and earbuds, and even like little lavalier mics you can purchase on Amazon. You can purchase all of that for minimal cost. You don't have to spend a ton of money to have a nice setup, to create your content, just to shoot video and have decent audio. You don't need to go out and blow all your money on this stuff. As nice as it would be to have the most advanced state-of-the-art tech, when it comes to cameras, audio, things like that, you don't need that. If over time you want to purchase that and kind of build up your setup, that's great. But don't feel like you got to rush out and get a bunch of crap, okay? I want to make that abundantly clear right from the get-go. The recurring theme throughout this video, and I'm saying it now because I don't want to say it over and over again, repeatedly ad nauseum, is work with what you've got. Now, if you already got maybe like some audio or video stuff from stuff you were doing prior, maybe you were creating different kinds of content, that's great. You already have what you need. But if all you have is a smartphone, some earbuds, and whatever space you're working with, whatever your smoke space is, wherever it is you relax and light up a cigar, that's perfect. If that's all you got, then that's perfect. Use that. Don't worry about having to go get new stuff, the newest, the best, state of the art, all that kind of stuff. Work with what you have. If it's just a smartphone and some earbuds, you have everything you need. But if you want to improve your setup, you can, again, do that at minimal cost. You don't have to spend a fortune. And I'm going to share with you a few things that I purchased over the years to where, you don't have to have hundreds and hundreds of dollars at your disposal to get these things. And the great thing about these things is you can buy them piecemeal. You don't have to buy it all at once. Depending on what it is, you don't have to get everything as a package deal. So I'm going to share some of the things that I've purchased over time with you, things you could probably go out and buy right now without having to worry about having a bunch of money in the bank. Now, if all you've got is your mobile phone, all of you got, maybe you have an Android or an iPhone, doesn't matter. You can actually download some really great video editors for free from either the Apple Store or from Google Play. And there's ones like CapCut and a couple of other video editors. Now, there are some extras and things that they have on there where you will have to actually pay extra fees for. But if all you're wanting is basic video editing, then there's plenty of free options in Google Play and the Apple Store. And if you want something of decent sound quality and you want to actually have like a microphone but nothing too expensive, these little lavalier mics right here, these can actually be purchased for $20 or less on Amazon, or you can even purchase them on TikTok. There's a bunch of options in the TikTok shop that are getting rave reviews, and they can actually, record from a fair distance. You walk far enough from your phone, you're still getting clear audio. Honestly, if you just want to go with the simple setup of your mobile phone and, little lavalier mics or just some earbuds, then honestly, that will work perfectly for you. And again, you can be mobile with that. You don't have to just record from your own house or just one single spot. If you want to go to a lounge or if you want to create content on the go, then that's perfect because you're not lugging around a bunch of equipment. And honestly, a lot of YouTubers and content creators, maybe they're just posting on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook. You can honestly post some pretty good quality content with smartphones in their current state, because they all pretty much, I would think about 100% of smartphones, whether it's, iPhone or Android, they all produce high definition quality video. The constant upgrades and advancements in them allow you to actually shoot some pretty good stuff. There's some people who, there are professionals who have shot music videos on their iPhone, because iPhone is known for having one of the best cameras on a mobile device that's out there. So if you want to just shoot something simple and you have an iPhone, you really have pretty much everything you need. And maybe pick up a lavalier mic for the iPhone, or just use your AirPods or whatever you got. That will work. Honestly, more than sufficient. So if that's what you got, it's perfect. You can still create excellent content with just that setup. Now, if you're doing the at-home route like myself and you're producing content from your house, you don't need a whole lot in that regard either. If you have a decent laptop that's less than 5 years old, and it has a decent amount of space on it, all you need is a camera and a microphone, both of which you can purchase for minimal cost, again, on Amazon. A lot of really great stuff is on Amazon. All you need to know is what your search parameters are, and you can find something for a pretty good price. Now, a webcam that shoots even in 4K, you can actually get for $40 or less. But if you wanted to maybe have something a little bit nicer, you're still not going to be spending a crap ton of money. One of the more advanced webcams that is really high definition, made by Logitech, is only about $140. And I know that sounds like a lot, especially for those of us who might be living paycheck to paycheck. But honestly, when compared to a lot of the other audio video equipment out there, that is not a lot. But at the same time, you don't need to spend that much. You can spend $40 or less and still get a 1080p or 4K webcam. So you'll still be producing high quality video content. You just won't really be able to move around or take it anywhere. It only works as well as it does when you're sitting somewhere at home. Now, in regards to a microphone, the first really great quality microphone that I actually purchased off a friend, and he had it for a while, so I purchased it at like dirt cheap, $10. It's a USB mic, so it plugs straight into your laptop or your PC, and it is made by Blue. Blue makes some really great quality microphones, and they tend to be geared towards podcasters, which in this case works perfectly. And the Blue Snowball, which was the first microphone that I purchased, was only around, I think, $50 at the time. But it has actually gone down a little bit in price, and you can get it on Amazon for $42. And in case you're concerned that something that inexpensive isn't good quality, I mean, 24,203 people can't entirely be wrong, because it has got 4.5 out of 5 stars on Amazon. Blue makes really great recording content for, someone who is working on a budget. So if you want a good quality microphone for minimal cost, definitely check out Blue. Now, the Blue Yeti is a little bit higher quality microphone, but you're still not going to be spending a ton of money if you decide to go with that microphone. A Blue Yeti microphone is only a little bit over $100, about $122 or just $100 depending on which model you purchase. And again, pretty affordable considering some of the top quality studio microphones that you might be looking at that are a bit outside your budget. I would definitely check out Blue if you're wanting to go for something that's a little bit more popular. Now, maybe you don't care about what's popular, you just want a decent microphone that will record quality audio. The microphone that I would actually go with after the Blue Snowball is the Marantz MPM 1000, the microphone that I actually still use on occasion. I have 2 of them here in my studio, and they actually record great quality audio. I was pretty amazed after I started using that microphone. I was getting a lot of really great and positive feedback on the audio quality of my videos, and I was pretty stoked because, again, you're not going to spend a lot. A Marantz MPM 1000 condenser microphone is only $40. You're not going to be spending a crap ton of money on it. It's a little bit more expensive than the Blue Snowball. You're going to be spending about $52 on this microphone. When I purchased it, it was closer to $70. So it's gone down in price, making it much more affordable for people who, again, are working on a budget and can't afford to spend a crap ton of money on a quality microphone. But you don't have to, because the Marantz MPM 1000 is actually a great microphone at minimal cost. And in case you're curious as to what it looks like, this is it right here. So order it off of Amazon. I actually will put a link in the description down below, so that way you know where to get it from, as well as like the Blue Snowball and the Blue Yeti. Again, minimal cost for great quality audio. Now, for those of you who might be saying, Kyle, I can actually afford to throw around a little bit more money. I can afford to spend a little bit more on my setup. What would you recommend in terms of audio and video? Now, in terms of what I use, I'm going to go over my setup. I'm not going to go into which laptop I use, just because I feel like it's really subjective on what is a good quality laptop. You don't need a whole lot in terms of a laptop. You just want to make sure you have plenty of storage. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of a breakdown of what I use and what I've been able to purchase over the last couple of years or so. And this is the setup that I use today. Now, this right here is the newest mic that I've purchased within the last year. And it is honestly the best mic that I have used, and it is fantastic. Now, I mainly purchased it because, those of you who know me, I do voice work. I have done some voiceover jobs in the last couple of years more frequently, And you want to make sure you have a microphone that is going to eliminate noise in the background. You're not going to get a whole lot of clicks and pops and things like that when you're recording. You want nice, smooth, clean audio. And the microphone that I'm using right here is the Rode NT1 Signature Series Black Studio microphone. Now, from what I've checked, the price of this microphone has not gone up from when I purchased it. I purchased it directly from the Rode website for about 159 bucks. Obviously, that doesn't include tax or shipping, so that'll get calculated if you decide to purchase it. And honestly, it was well worth every penny I spent on it. And I'm really grateful that I decided to go with this microphone because it gives me really great quality when I'm recording voiceover. It really cancels out so much noise in the background. You want to make sure that you're working in a sound dampened area when you're using it, and it will give you some amazing audio no matter what you're recording, whether you're going to use it for doing cigar content or you're doing some kind of voiceover or recording for various other projects. It is an excellent microphone and I highly recommend it. And again, I will leave a link in the description below if you want to go with this microphone. Now, the camera that I use is the same camera that I've been using for roughly the last year and a half, and that is the Canon EOS M200 mirrorless camera. It is used by a lot of people mainly for like stuff that I do, like vlogging and kind of video projects of that nature. And it produces excellent quality video. It can record in 4K, honestly, excellent high definition quality. It has great autofocus, as you can see by, doing this. Really great autofocus. And it also has video stabilization, so you don't have to worry about, if it gets a little shaky, it compensates. You don't have to worry about, things being a little bit too choppy or shaky, even when you are holding the camera and moving around. It actually still produces really great video quality. Now, when I purchased it, the price was a bit lower. For a while, it was available on the Canon website for about 450 bucks. When I purchased it in a big old bundle with a few other pieces of equipment and a carrier bag, and I think it was roughly 600. It doesn't seem like Canon produces this one as much anymore, but I did find that you can actually purchase it at Walmart. It's gone up in price quite a bit. It's going to be about $760 roughly. So, I mean, if you can afford to spend that much on a camera, odds are you're going to be spending pretty close to that on any other high quality HD camera. And if you want to produce good video content, you want a decent HD camera. Like if you're able to spend a bit more, you want to make sure you're getting the right camera, because you don't want to have it for just a short while and then you have to upgrade pretty soon after. And honestly, I can see myself using this camera for a very long time. I'm not worried about having to buy another one and all that kind of stuff. Maybe one day, but definitely not anytime soon, because this camera is fantastic. It hasn't failed me yet. And yeah, I would say it's worth the money. If you just want a simple vlogging camera, a camera that you can produce your content on a regular basis, if you can afford to spend that much, then definitely pick up the Canon EOS M200 mirrorless camera. It's worth the money. Now, coming back to audio, if you're using a microphone like this, an XLR microphone, not one that plugs directly into your laptop, you're going to want to get a decent interface. And again, it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg if you purchase the one that I currently use. And lucky for you, it's actually gone down quite a bit in price since I purchased it. I would say roughly about 20 bucks. I think, because I spent around 130, 140. Actually, it's gone down quite a bit. It's the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 3rd gen, and you can get it directly off the Focusrite website for 110 bucks. Honestly, not too shabby in terms of price, because there are some much more fancy and sophisticated interfaces that, people who are recording artists and do regular professional recordings, they might need something a little bit more fancy. But honestly, it has 2 XLR inputs. You only need to adjust the gain and a few other things like that. It really works fantastic. As you can tell by the sound of my audio, the interface produces really great audio quality through the microphone into my laptop, and it's what I use all the time. And that is pretty much my entire setup. So you're going to be spending a decent amount. If you are in a position to be able to spend a bit more on your setup, this microphone, my interface, and the camera all together, you're going to be spending close to about $1,000. It's a lot of money, but at the same time, if you are able to afford it, it would be worth it to produce really good audio and video content. If you want to make sure that you are getting the best sound and video, this setup honestly has been working for me for quite a while. I really love the equipment that I have. I'm really grateful that I was able to get it when I did for the price that I got it for, but you're still going to be spending a decent amount of money for this kind of setup. But if you want it to sound and look professional, then yeah, this is definitely a good way to go. But at the same time, I mean, there are setups that produce professional quality video and audio that you're going to be spending thousands of dollars on, and when you compare it to that, this is minimal in terms of cost. So honestly, if you have a decent laptop and you want to get a more professional sound and look to your videos, this setup, which I've actually put into the description for the equipment that I use, is a really good one. So if you want this kind of a setup and you're able to afford it in your budget, definitely worth the money. But again, going back to what I originally said, you don't need all of this if you want to produce quality cigar content. Again, if all you have is a smartphone, earbuds, and that's it, that's perfect. Don't feel like you have to go out and spend a shit ton of money in order to produce good quality cigar content or any kind of content, because a lot of people, that's all they have: a smartphone, earbuds, maybe a little lavalier mic, and that's it. And it works for them. I've seen some excellent content and I'm thinking, wow, they must have gotten like a really good studio camera, really good microphone. But then I find out that they're just using the latest generation iPhone, and I'm like, holy shit, that is amazing. It's fantastic. And it goes to show you don't need all of the latest and greatest in terms of tech to produce something that is quality. So work with what you have. If all you have is just the minimal stuff, that will work fantastic for you. Don't feel the pressure, and definitely don't compare yourself to other content creators, because everybody's in a different spot, everybody's in a different place. And honestly, for a lot of us, it took a while to get the setup that we now have. Honestly, everything I have now, it took years for me to be able to afford and use what I have right now. I'm grateful that I have it. I am not in a hurry to upgrade to anything more than what I've got, because what I have is more than sufficient. And again, you don't have to have what I have. If all you've got is just the minimal setup, that's all you need. Just get started. Don't worry about the fancy shit. Get started with what you have. Work your way up as time goes on, as you're able to afford better quality stuff to upgrade to. Don't be in a hurry. Don't stress yourself out. Don't compare yourself to other creators, and don't worry about it. What you have, it's going to work just fine for you. All you have to do is get started. So guys, I hope that was really helpful for you if you are interested in starting to do cigar media. I really hope that this was helpful. This was all good information for you, and you feel a little bit better, a little bit more confident about getting started, knowing you don't need all the fancy stuff. You don't need the most expensive equipment. You don't need all that stuff if you have a smartphone and all that. Just get started. Just start recording stuff. Prop up your phone on a table outside on your patio, which is what I did in the beginning. Take your pictures, shoot your videos, do all that kind of stuff. You don't need all of the latest and greatest, like I said. Just get started. Start recording your stuff. Put it on YouTube. Put it on your socials. Just put your stuff out there, but be yourself. Be genuine. Don't try to put on a facade or a character. It's really easy to do that. Be genuine. Be who you are when you're shooting your content, because that's what people want. They want the real thing. They want the genuine article, and that is more what people are going to tune in for. Someone who's genuine, someone who's there for the love of it, and not just because they want to make a name for themselves or put their face out there. They want someone who really loves what they do, because it's much more fun and entertaining to watch. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful and educational. And most of all, I just hope you was entertaining. And I hope you guys will continue to tune in for future videos. Thank you for being so patient with me and not having put out much of any content in recent months. As all of you know, life can get a little crazy, but I'm here, I'm back, and I really hope that you will continue to support me putting out content and all of that good stuff, and you'll continue to tune into my videos. I appreciate every single one of you. Please be sure to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you all are taking good care of yourselves, staying safe, staying healthy, keeping it smoky as always. And of course, I will see you guys next time.